everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking all about how I annotate my books. I'm going to be talking about why I annotate, how I annotate, what supplies I use, what methods I use, just basically everything revolving around defacing your books, because I personally believe that once you buy a book you can do whatever you want with it. You can write in it, highlight, color, draw, like you can do whatever you want in your books once you buy them, because they're yours and you can do whatever you want with them. So I personally love annotating in my books because I just feel like it's a way to really connect with the story. Like I feel like when I'm annotating a book, I feel more immersed in it because I'm really paying attention to what's happening and really analyzing it versus just reading it. Normally, I just feel like I can't really get that immersed in the story when I'm not annotating, but I love annotating my books. I just love connecting deeper with the story and really analyzing everything that's happening. The main supplies that I use for annotating are sticky tabs. I have two different kinds that I use. The ones that I have used for a really long time are these. These come in a pack with like, I don't even know how many they come with, but it comes with these and also ones that have little arrows at the end. So I really enjoy these. These are the first tabs I ever used for annotating, and I really like them because they're just simple. There aren't that many colors and it's really easy to just assign a color to each theme that you want to analyze, and I really enjoy these. And when you stick them on the page and you lift up the tab, if you want to like move it around, it doesn't lift up the words or anything. So I really enjoy these tabs and I still use them. But I have recently purchased the very popular like Instagram aesthetic tabs. They look like this. They have all of these different colors and I just think that they're so pretty. So I don't use all of the ones on like one set. I pick and choose from different sets which colors I want to use. I use these tabs for when I really want to really analyze a certain book and I don't have enough colors with just these here, or if I want to match the colors of the tabs to the book that I'm reading. So I've only used these once. I am currently reading The Secret History and I use these tabs in this book because I just think that the colors look a lot nicer than how these would look. I feel like these don't really look good with the colors of the cover, but these, I think they look a lot nicer. Also because I didn't really have enough colors in this set for this specific book because there are a lot of different things that I wanted to annotate and I wasn't gonna have enough colors with that set. So that's why I used this one, and I picked different colors from each set that I thought matched with the colors of the cover. So I really enjoy these. These are really nice. The main issue that I have with these is I feel like I don't think they're that transparent, or not as transparent as these, because when I put them in the book, like if like one of the darker colors, like it really covers the words a lot versus these, which are a little bit more transparent on the page. But honestly, it's not the end of the world. I really don't mind. I just love how all of these colors look. So yeah, those are the tabs that I use. I'll link everything down below. So these are my tabs. I really enjoy these. I go through these a lot. I've gone through like 3 or 4 packs of these because I just love these so much, specifically the pink color. The other supplies that I use a lot are pens. So I personally love the Pilot G2, the 0.7mm specifically. This pen is just so smooth, and when you write it doesn't skip. But the main issue I have with this is that sometimes like smudges a little bit if you don't wait for it to fully dry before like touching the page. So that's the only thing I don't really like about this pen. Also, depending on the type of paper that you're using or the type of paper that's in the book, it will bleed a little bit. Like here you can kind of, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but you can kind of see the pen like bleeding, not bleeding, but like you can see the shadow of the pen on the other side. But I personally don't really care that much because I just love how smooth this pen is. So I'm just gonna keep using it because it's so smooth, it's opaque, and it doesn't skip, which I really enjoy. So I love the Pilot G2 pens. And I also love these. I don't know what they're called. I just got these on Amazon, but they come in a pack with a bunch of different colors. I really enjoy these pens, or like, yeah, it's like a pen, I guess. And I just think it looks really nice in the book. Like, there's a moment here, like, I just think it looks really nice, and it does like bleed, just not bleed, but you can kind of see the faint outline of everything on the following page. But again, I don't really mind. I just really enjoy these, and they have a really fine point, which I really like, and it's just super easy to underline like a lot in my books. So these are my ride or die annotating supplies. I use these so much. I've already gone through like 1 or 2 full pens of these because I just love using these supplies, and once this one runs out, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't want to buy a whole other pack just for this one. But these are the main pens that I use. For highlighters, I have one that I discovered that I really love, but I just want to talk about the Tombow dual brush pens because I used to use these, but I don't really like using these anymore because I just think that it's not really easy to control when you're highlighting because it is just like a brush tip, so it's not really like precise or really stiff to where you can just do like even coating of highlighter, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to show you in one of these books, but like it also doesn't really cover the entire sentence, so I just don't really like how it looks in books. I like how it is so pastel, you can still see the words, but I just didn't really like how it wrote in the books, and you would never get like an even stroke depending on how hard you pressed or how light you did. So I just don't really like the Tombow dual brush pens for annotating or for highlighting, but I do love these. These are the Stabilo Boss pastel highlighters, and I love these. I love how they're pastel, first of all, so they don't look like super bright or neon in the book, and I love how smooth these are and how they don't skip either. So I love the point of these because it's like an angle type of point, so when you're writing in the book, if you apply even pressure, it'll cover the entire sentence and it'll look the same on each line because it has like a set like design and it's more stiff, so when you're writing it'll look the same the entire time. And again, I love how pastel these are. They look really nice in the pages. Let me just grab this book. I love how pastel they are. Like, they just look really nice in the pages. They do bleed, like, they do bleed the tiniest bit when you put pressure on for the first time. Like, you can see kind of here a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but they do bleed a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy or anything that really bothers me. Over the past like 2-ish years that I've been annotating my books, I have changed my annotating system a lot, but I think I have finally nailed down a system that I really like and that works for me. So the pink is for things that I love, favorite scenes, just anything that I really love, I will use a pink tab for, and that's why I go through these pink tabs the most. I keep buying new sets of these tabs just because I'm always running out of the pink, because I use this like crazy. As you will see in the books I'm going to show you, I go through this one a lot. So that's what the pink tab is for. And then orange, I used to use it for angry moments, but then I was like, why do I want to look back on moments that made me angry? So I decided to switch this to funny, so I just use this for any funny moments. Yellow is for world building, so if it's like a fantasy book, I'll use this one for like details about the world or like the magic system, anything like that relating to world building, I'll use the yellow for. And then the green, this is a new one. I used to use it for like relatable moments, I think, but now I'm gonna use it for foreshadowing, because when I was reading The Secret History, I realized that I really liked analyzing and tabbing the foreshadowing moments, like things that I thought were gonna happen or that were gonna tie back to certain moments. So I use this one for foreshadowing. Blue, I use it for sad. I've used this a lot in some of the books, but yeah, it's just for any sad moments or like things that made me like emotional. And then These two colors, they honestly look really similar in the actual book, so I really just use these for the same thing. That is for character development. So anything relating to character development, if they do certain things or something relating to like their backstory, anything revolving around that, I'll use either one of these because once they're in the actual book, they look pretty similar and it's hard to distinguish which one's which. So I just use these for the same thing. That's what I use these specific colors for. And then as far as these, it honestly depends on the book because like I said, I'm gonna match these to the covers of the books. So I don't have like a set system for these specific tabs. So now I'm gonna go into the different annotating methods that I use because I have a few different methods depending on the type of book that I'm reading. So if it's something like Six of Crows, where it's like a fantasy or Our Violent Ends, I will use the full annotating system that I described earlier with all of the tabs. So as you can see here, there's a lot of different color tabs because I used these because they are fantasy. So I felt the need to use all the colors because there was a lot to analyze. So for fantasy books or like something like this, like The Lost Hero, where there's a lot of like world building and like different mythology and stuff, I will use my full annotating system. For romance books, I do a bit of a different system compared to like fantasy and stuff like that. So for romances, I'll just use pink tabs for my favorite moments because when I'm reading a romance, I just want to really indulge in all of the moments that I really loved. So I'll use pink for my favorite moments, and then in this one I used orange for like banter and stuff like that. So for romance books, I don't really do my full annotating system. I just pick one color for my favorite moments and then another color for things that are relevant to the book. Like for this one specifically, there's a lot of banter and stuff like that. So that's why I just did banter and then moments that I loved and like favorite moments and stuff like that. So it really just depends on each book once again. And then I'm gonna go back to The Secret History because that one has a completely different annotating system. So in a book like this, which has different themes and stuff to analyze, I will assign different tabs, and I have a lot of different colors that I use here. So I have a sticky note in here, thank God, so I can remember what each color means. So I bounced around from each different set, but the main ones are from this one here. So I always use pink for favorite moments because I just think it looks really cute. So I'm really running out of the pink in this one, but in The Secret History, I used pink for favorite moments, things that I loved, quotes that I loved, anything that I just really loved. Still gonna use pink. And then I used the green, I think, yeah. I used the green here for foreshadowing. I was buddy reading this with my friend and she told me to make a tab for foreshadowing, and I'm so glad that I did because there are a lot of moments that are really tying into what's happening later on in the book. So I'm really glad that I have a tab for foreshadowing. And then I'm using the blue here for character development. None of these characters are good people, and I just think it's been really fun to like tab all of these moments where you learn more about the characters. And then this one here I didn't really use like at all. I made the tab and I think I only used it like once, but I use it for any Greek themes, Greek history, anything relating to Greek history because this is a prominent theme in this book. So I use this for anything Greek related. My friend told me to make a tab for Richard lying. So Richard is our narrator, our main character, and he's an unreliable narrator, and he has a lot of moments where he lies, little white lies, and just like sometimes like really big lies. So my friend told me to make a tab for him lying, and it's really come in handy because there's a few tabs where he's been lying. And then I used some from this set. I used this color here for plot points, so pretty self-explanatory, anything relating to the plot or things that are going to happen later on in the book, or like just like important information. And then another tab that I added like super last minute was this one right here, which I used for social commentary. I really enjoyed using this tab for social commentary because towards the end of the book is where I really started using it. Grief is a pretty big theme in this book, and the way that society and the people around you act when someone passes away is just really interesting to analyze in this book specifically. So those are the tabs that I used in The Secret History. And something else that I used a lot in this book was sticky notes. So I have these just plain basic sticky notes. I steal these from the supply closet at work, but just regular sticky notes. And then also I have these pink ones, but any sticky notes I really enjoy using for I want to really analyze a certain part of the book and there just isn't enough space in the margins, so I use sticky notes. And an example of that is this part here in The Secret History again, where I really had a lot to talk about, so I used 4 sticky notes to really analyze what was going on in the text there. And I just use sticky notes basically whenever I don't think there's gonna be enough space to really write what I want to write. So I'll use sticky notes, like an example here, just put it right there, or at the end of the first chapter I put a sticky note for what I was feeling about the book so far. I just like my overall thoughts because I didn't want to write that in the actual book, so I just made some sticky notes for that. So in this book I did my tabbing and underlining as usual, but I also added something that I didn't really do in any of my other books, and that is like circling words that I don't understand and then defining them in the margins. Because with a book like this, it's like a dark academia and there's a lot to analyze and a lot of just like slightly different language from like normal books, I did find the need to really like circle words that I didn't understand and define them so that I could understand what was happening, like this moment right here. A recurring theme in this book is like dreams and memories, so every time something dream related or memory related popped up, I would circle it. So here I circulated dreamscape, amnesia land, and heaven. And then over here I also just circled this moment that I just thought was really, really nice. Like the writing in that one was just beautiful, so I underlined all of this. But then I circled this one section here that really stood out to me because I just wanted it to really be separate from everything else because this was just really beautiful. The last thing that I do when annotating is I will do little dog ears. So on the moments that or like the scenes that I really, really love, I will do a dog ear in the corner of the page, just so if I ever feel like flipping through and reading my favorite scenes, I can just go to the page that has a little dog ear, and then I'll have my favorite moment there. So I did that in this book, and I also did it in Our Violent Ends. I have a few dog ear moments, so if I just go to any dog ear, I'll see something that I'll see something that I really, really liked. So I love doing dog ears for just scenes that I really, really liked. Let me see if I can just pick another random dog ear. Oh god. Oh, this scene. Oh god. Oh, here's another one. Okay, no, I'm good. But okay, stop. I need to stop looking at my little dog ear moments because I'm going to cry because this book. When I first started getting into annotating and I wasn't sure if I wanted to like highlight or write in my books, I would just use the tabs, assign the different themes to each one, and just put the tabs in the books so that I was still immersing myself in the story and still annotating it, but I'm not writing directly in the book. If you're new to annotating or you're scared to like write in your books or you don't like writing in your books, I think you can just get a pack of sticky tabs and just stick those in the book and call it a day. You don't have to really write in them or highlight them, but you can still use tabs to annotate. So I recommend doing that if you're new to annotating, and also just using a pencil, because again, if you don't know if you want to keep the book or if you end up not liking the book, you can just erase all of the pencil marks, take out the tabs, and then it's a brand new book. Because I have learned my lesson a couple of times before where I would annotate a book on the first read and then I end up not liking it. Like Book Lovers by Emily Henry, I started reading it, I highlighted a lot and like annotated, and I did the whole thing, and then I DNF'd it at like 40 something, 50 something percent. So I have learned my lesson, and I know now to not annotate books on the first read. Now I give them like 50 or 100 pages before I start really writing in them and highlighting them. Like I did that with The Secret History. For the first couple of pages I just used sticky notes, and I also just used tabs. I didn't really write in it, but then when I started reading it I was like, okay, I think I'm really gonna enjoy this. So I started actually writing in it, and then I went back and took out my sticky notes and really like underlined and circled and tabbed into the whole thing. So that's what I do now for my books. Yeah, those are all of my methods and supplies that I use for annotating. I hope this video was a little bit interesting, because I know that I love watching people annotate books because there's just something so satisfying about it, and I love learning about people's different annotating systems. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, do you annotate your books, and what systems you use to annotate, like what colors you use, what supplies, because I'm still on the hunt to find like the perfect supplies, but the ones that I have right now I really enjoy. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.